Today I am going to show you how to make these 3 Easter makes in under an hour each. So let's jump in. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing some crochet Easter makes. I am creating an egg. We're making a little chick that can carry an egg, and we're doing a little bunny basket here as well. So I am going to leave timestamps down below, chapters, so that you can skip forward to whichever make you want to do first. Give it a go. All of them will take you under an hour. This one takes the longest because there's more parts to do and a bit more sewing. Then it's the little chick, and the egg is the easiest, quickest one to do. Excuse Twinkle in the background. So depending on what you want to do, these are all beginner friendly. It is all using single crochet. This is all single crochet and some slip stitches. This is single crochet, and the ears are single, half double and double crochet, and I showed you how to do that in my beginners crochet series, so you can go up here if you want to go back and just check on how to do those stitches. But it is really simple. These are nice, easy, friendly beginner stitches. You are going to need a 4mm crochet hook, and you are going to need a 2mm crochet hook. You're going to need a, she dropped it, tapestry needle, and you're going to need some scissors. And if you stick with me until the end, I am going to show you the 3 alternatives to stitch markers that I use when I'm doing my crochet. So let's hop in to the first make. Okay, so for the eggs, I am going to be using my 4mm crochet hook, and this was made with DK yarn, which I would suggest is a good idea to use because it gives you a nice size egg. However, I don't have lots of pretty coloured DK yarn, so what I'm going to do is I am going to use my cotton yarn, because I think it's just a little bit, you know, I can get pink egg, a blue egg, a green egg, which is more Eastery colours than the yarn I have, and I haven't had a chance to get out because I'm still not great, guys. This is the never-ending cold that just does not want to go away. So I am going to do it in the cotton, and I think I will do a blue one with you guys. So you're going to need your cotton. I am going to do this double layered if I can find the other end, just because it is that little bit thinner. But if you're doing it with the DK yarn, double knit yarn, then you don't need to double it up, just use the single strand. But I'm hoping that this will just beef it up a little bit. Oh, always with the inside being such a nightmare. Okay, I will come back when I've found the other end. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to do double. You can do single if you're doing double knit yarn. And we are going to do the magic ring. So you take your yarn in your hand, over 2 fingers, and over with a cross. So it's crossed there. So it goes front to back. Hook under, pull up the loop, yarn over, pull through. Okay, and then we're going to do 6 single crochet into the ring. So under, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Don't let it confuse you that I've actually got 4 on the hook, because obviously it's because I'm using the double strand. So once you've got your 6 in the round, you are going to pull your tail nice and tight, bring that circle around, and then you are going to, so we're not actually raising to the height of the row in this one, we're going to work in spirals. So you are going to go to, oh, that's Kitty coming in the room. into that first stitch, pull up a loop and single crochet, and you're going to do 2 single crochets into every stitch, so we end up with 12. What I should have said is that when you do that first one to join in the round, that first single crochet, put a stitch marker in there so you know where it is, so you know you can count the stitches as you go, but just in case, it allows you to always know where the start of the round is. So that's 2 into the first stitch, then I'm going 1, 2 into the second stitch, okay, so we are back round now and we have done 12. So what we're going to do in the next round is just single crochet into every stitch. Do that first one, replace the stitch marker so we know where we started, and continue in the round all the way around. Okay, so that is the third round done. Now I'm just going to turn it out like this so that I'm working around the outside of the egg. And then in the third round we are going to do some more increases. So we're going to do a single crochet into the first stitch, replace that stitch marker, and then we're going to do 2 into the next stitch, one, 2, and then we're going to do 1 into the next stitch, and then 2 into the next stitch. So we're just repeating that, 1 single, 2 singles, 1 single, 2 singles, all the way around, so that we end up with 18 stitches. And you should end on a double to complete the round. So for the next row we are just going to single crochet into every stitch again, and this just stops it from growing. It builds up the sides a little bit. So take the stitch marker out, do that first single there, replace the stitch marker, and single crochet into every stitch. So that completes that next round. Then we are going to do another increase round. So we are going to do it slightly different to the last one. We're going to do 1 single crochet, replace the stitch marker, in the next stitch another single crochet, and then in the third stitch we're doing 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and then we're going to go single, single, and 2 in the third. We're just going to do that all the way around, single, single, 2 in the third, and I'll meet you back at the end of that round. And again you should end on that double to complete the pattern. Okay, so now we should have 24 stitches. Now what we're going to do is the next round, which is round 7 if you've been counting, we are going to do round 7 to round 12 just doing single crochet, so no increases, just going single crochet into every stitch for the next 5 rounds. So if you haven't been counting your rounds so far, you're going to do 5 rounds from now. And do you know how I do it? If I haven't got my counter with me, and oh, just perfect, I will take something that I've got 5 of and I will complete a round, and then I'll put one aside so I know how many rounds I've got to do. So I am going to do that off camera, and I will meet you back at round 13. Okay guys, so that is up to round 13 we are on now. So I'm just going to remove the stitch marker. Now we're going to start decreasing. Now this actually has worked up, and I haven't done it with the cotton before. Rather large actually. So I thought the cotton yarn was going to be a lot slimmer than the double knit, but it seems that it is not that much slimmer, because I can now fit my white egg into my current egg, and I haven't finished it yet, which I think is hilarious. So I will probably do the next ones with just the single strand rather than the double. So we'll just have an extra large. It'd be like having a goose egg or something in with the birdie eggs or something like that. I don't know. A rather large egg, ostrich size. So for round 13, we are going to be decreasing. We are going to do 2 single crochet, and then we are going to crochet 2 together to decrease, and we're going to do that all the way around. So I will show you what we're going to do. So you go 2 single crochet, replace the stitch marker, move that one out. So that's 1, and then 2, and then to decrease we are going to decrease in the front loops only. So the way I do it is I go through and through. So see that again. So you've got your 2 front loops, you've got your V's, your front loops. So 1, and then I come down, up and under the second. So you then pull the yarn through that first one, and then it's a little bit of a tug. What I usually do is I turn the needle, the hook the other way, and kind of bring it up under, and that usually gets me there easier than trying to pull it through the other way. Yarn over, pull through 2, and that has now put 2 stitches together. So again, crochet 1, crochet 2, and then the next one we're going to do 2 together again. So up under, bring the hook down and up and under the next one, front loops only, pull the yarn over through the first one, I twist it all the way around to go under the second one and bring it back up, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you might be able to pull it through normally. It is completely up to you how you get it through, but just to show you again, going through those front loops, if I try and pull it through, I'm kind of catching and not really got the room to go through, so I just find it easier to rotate it. Yarn over, and we're going to do that right to the end. So single crochet, crochet 2 together in the front loops. And then the last 2 is going to be crocheting the 2 together. So what I could try on my next one, you see I managed to do that without twisting my hook. What I might do is use a smaller hook. So I'm using the 4mm for this, which is what I used for this white one, and it came out this size, but because I've doubled the yarn, it's made this yarn thicker than this yarn. So what I could do is go down to a 3mm hook, or maybe a 3.5mm hook, and that will bring the size of the egg down. So now we are down to row 14, and we are going to now do decrease again, but instead of doing 2 single crochets before the decrease, we're just going to do 1. So you're going to single crochet 1, replace that stitch marker, and then decrease straight away. So under those 2, yarn over, pull through the 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and do that all the way around. So single crochet 1, and then crochet 2 together, and I'll meet you back at the end of the round. And again, the last 2 are a crochet 2 together. And I don't know why for that round I found it easier to pull through without doing the twist. So there we go. So this is the hole we have got at the moment. We have got one more round to do, but you might find it easier to stuff it now whilst you've got the larger hole. So I am using Hobbycraft's Hobbycraft's 100% high loft polyester filling. To fill up the hole. So I'm just going to pull some out. You can use whatever you like to stuff. So if you have got some material, this is left over from making, I made little penguins one year for my sister, like penguin snowmen type things. Can't even remember. If my daughter was to watch this, she would absolutely be screaming at the screen now, because she said they were one thing and I said no, they're very obviously the other thing, and now I'm at the stage where I can't actually remember what it was that I made. But she was adamant they weren't what I said they were. So just make sure that you're getting the shape that you want there, and I think that is good. So what we are going to do, and if you are worried about losing this last stitch, you can just obviously put your stitch marker through it and hook it up if you want to make sure that it is held safely there. So what we are going to do is we are just going to go round and do the crochet 2 together in every single stitch. So we're just going to do the crochet and 2 together all the way around to close up the egg. So there, I will put my stitch marker just so I know that I'm back to the beginning. So under first loops only, remember, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And the last 2, 1, 2, and pull through. So now I'm going to take that stitch marker out. I'm going to slip stitch into here. And then I'm going to leave myself some tail to work with. And pull that through. And you can see that we are pretty much done there. Have pulled out some of the white because it's bright blue, it does show up. So if you were doing pastel-y colours or lighter colours, it wouldn't show so much. So you might want to wait until you're at this point and then use that hole. But it is a very small hole to be able to stuff it. So maybe don't fill it up as much and then just top it up once you've finished. Might be a good way of avoiding getting the stuffing pulling through your work there. So just an idea for you. And then thread it onto your needle. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to go round, just going as if I was sewing, like blanket stitch type thing, around the outside, all the way around. And then I'm just going to pull that tight, and that just closes up that hole completely. And then what you can do is just weave through. Maybe try and just close up any holes that you can see. Just make sure that you've got some yarn going through. Oh. And then what I'm going to do to lock it out is I will actually leave that one strand out. Just going to go through one and up to knot that, and then I'm going to just push that through, come out somewhere, and trim it. And then take the other one and do the same thing, go under and through. Let's give it a bit of a knot, and then in and out in a different place to the other end. And there we have our egg. I love it. I love it. I hope you saw that okay. I have a tendency to stop looking at the camera screen when I'm focusing, and then I move and shift. So I hope that you saw that okay. There is a little bit of white here. You could have a pick at it, I suppose. Try and poke it back in, but like I say, if you don't overstuff it to start with and then just top it up after you've done that 15, row 15, and you won't get that. Or if you're using lighter colours, it won't be as obvious either. So I've just shouldn't have done that, Donna. You're pulling it out now. There we go. Okay, so that is your blue egg. This is my white egg. You can see the size difference. So it is quite large. And we have used maybe a third of that ball to do that, and they are 50-gram balls, I think. Yeah. So that is your egg, and we are going to move on to the next item. Okay guys, so we are going to work on the little basket now. Now I have used a video that I found on YouTube for this, so I will link that in the description below, but it is a super quick make. You may see that we look a little bit different. That is because I gave up yesterday. It was getting a bit too dark and it was dinner time, so I've come back to this today to make this little guy and to show you the little chick as well. So we are going to do that. Let's flip you around and I will show you how to make this one. Really simple, and a nice little detailing along the edge there as well. Okay, so I am using my 4mm hook again for this one, and I am going to be using this double knit yarn that I have, and this is going to be a 2-strand jobby two. So you could get two balls of the same colour. This is obviously a multicoloured, very similar to the one that I made here. It's a multicoloured yarn, just leftovers that I had. You can do it in nice soft colours, pinks, whites, whatever you like, but I've got this yarn to use up, so I am going to be using this. So we are going to be working in the round, so you are going to need a magic circle again. So yarn over your fingers and crossing, pick that yarn up, twist it, yarn over, pull through to make a chain on your loop. Then we are going to do 10 single crochets into this loop, and remember you're working over this tail. So through, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the loop, yarn over, through, and you're going to do that 10 times. And 10. And then, as always, we are going to tighten that circle up. Okay, then we are going to join in the round, and whereas with the egg we worked in a spiral, we're not working in a spiral with this. We are going to be working in the round. So you're going to go through that first stitch, you're going to pull up a loop of both. Remember to get both strands, and you are going to not do a single crochet, Donna, you're going to slip stitch. Okay, so let me do that again for you just in case, because I don't want to confuse. So you've got your last stitch, you're going to go through that first stitch, pull up a loop, and then pull it through the stitch, and then you're going to chain one. This raises you to the height of your working row, and then we are going to do 2 single crochet into every stitch so that we end up with 20 stitches. Okay, so we are going to go back into that first stitch, and then one. Oh, forgot my second one, didn't I? And then again, so that's 2, 3, same stitch, 4, next stitch, 5, same stitch, 6, and all the way round. Okay, so we're back round to the beginning now, and that hole is rather large, so I'm just going to pull it tighter. I sometimes wait to pull it a little bit tighter because it makes it more difficult to find the stitches, so that's a better size hole there. And so that brings us back round to the beginning. I have 20 stitches, so I'm just going to slip stitch into that first stitch, pull up a loop, pull through, and chain one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to single crochet into every stitch in the round. Okay, and that is the last stitch in the round. Now I'm not using a stitch marker this time because we're working in the round. It makes it a little bit more obvious where the start of the round is. However, if you get confused and you end up going past it and you don't know where it is, you can always put a stitch marker into that first stitch so you know where it is. So we're going to go into that first stitch, and we're going to slip stitch and chain one. So for this round, which is going to be our 4th round, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the back loops only. So when we were doing the invisible reduction on the egg, we were going into the front loops for that. What we're going to do is go into the back loops. So you've got your front loops here, back loops there. So you're going to go into the back loop only, and do single crochet in every round. And what this is going to do is it's going to make that kind of base line there so that we've got a base for our basket. So just go in the round, single crochet all the way around using the back loop only. And then we are just going to slip stitch into that first one there, making sure we've got all the loops. Slip stitch, not single crochet. Okay, so we're curling up now, which is what you expect it to do, but we do not want it facing this way. We want it facing the other way. Okay, so you can kind of manipulate that, and it kind of comes out and you can see the bottom of the basket there. Okay, see, and then that will go in there as we're working. So now you can see we've kind of got this flat bottom and this stand-up row, and that's what going into the back loops only has done for us. So this next round we are going to do some increasing just to make the basket a little bit wider. And what we're going to do excuse me, is we're going to do 2 single crochets into that first stitch, 1, 2, then we're going to single crochet 3, 1, 2, 3, then we're going to do 2 singles in the same stitch again, 1, 2, then 3 singles, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 singles, and we're just going to carry on in that pattern all the way around. 2 singles into 1 stitch, 3 singles, 2 singles into 1 stitch, 3 singles, and I'll meet you back up. Okay, so I may have messed that round up a little because my yarn is doing this. So this is why it's nice to use brand new balls of wool, because you don't end up with this knotty mess. So that is what I'm dealing with. If you see me kind of going off camera, I am trying to untangle my yarn so that I can get usable strands out of it. So my apologies for that, but I feel like I might have missed a couple of points on that round. However, it is definitely bigger than it was, and so I'm going to carry on working with it because it's not a huge deal for me to show you this and it to be slightly wrong. So just make sure that you are doing 2 in the first one, 3 singles, 2, 3, 2, 3, and the 2s are going into the same stitch. Okay, so now that we have increased that, what we are going to do is we are going to do 6 more rounds to bring us up to the height of the basket. So 6 more rounds of single crochet into every stitch. We're not increasing, we're not decreasing, just single crochet into every stitch, sorry, for 6 rounds. And I will meet you back when I've done that, because it's definitely going to take me longer than it should because of my yarn. So I will see you back in a minute. Okay guys, so I have done the 6th round. Now you may be looking at this thinking, hang on a minute, Donna, that was not the yarn that you were using. Well, yeah, I decided that this mess was not going to get sorted quick enough for me to get this video up, so I gave up and started again with a different yarn that is a proper ball that I can pull from both ends. So that was that. I have just done the last round there, so that was the 6th row. Now we are going to do this edging. Now you can see the difference in size, and I think it's the yarn, and I might have used 4.5 mil hook for this one actually, so that's why it's a little bit holier. I actually prefer this. It's a little bit stiffer, a little bit more size appropriate, I think. You know, you can pop an egg in there, you could pop some mini eggs in there, little toy or something. I think it is a better size, so I like this with the 4 mil double knit yarn. This one is a very old yarn, double knit, 100% acrylic. Yeah, just is what it is. So it is a different size, but that I think is going to work better because this seems to work up a little bit stiffer. So now for our 7th and final round, we're going to do something different. So if you have been following along on my beginners crochet series, which I will link for you, you will know that we have done single crochet, we have done double, half double, we've done a chain, we've done the magic ring, etc, etc, to get you started. So everything that has happened so far has been in that course, so you can go and learn how to do that, so you could do this. This is something new to learn. So this is the reverse single crochet, and that's what's going to give this sort of rope edged look. So rather than going in here like we would normally and work around that way, we're actually going to be working backwards, and we are going to go into the last stitch we actually made, which is underneath this. So it's just there, and then we're going to pull the yarn through and then finish it just like we would a single crochet, so through the 2. And then you're going to again go through the next stitch at the back, and rather than yarning over, because you're not going to get that, you're going to pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. Okay, let me just bring this down here a bit more light. So you're going to go through the next stitch, pull the yarn through and up, yarn over, pull through the 2, and you can see that rope pattern start to appear. So I'll just do it a couple more times for you so you can see. Through, and you're just going to do that all the way around, and then I will meet you back. Okay, so I've just finished that last one, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch into this first rope here. Slip stitch that. Then pull the chain through. Pull that there, so I've got some to weave in with, cut that, and then we would just weave in to make that pot there. Lovely, I'm loving that. Okay, so in the video I watched, again, she used the plastic eyes and stuff. I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to weave in this end, and then I will come back and show you how I'm going to make the eyes and the nose. Okay, so I've weaved in the ends there, so we are all good to go. I'm going to keep that seam as the back, so I'm going to put the face on the front here, and what I'm going to need for that is I'm going to need some black yarn, which I just happen to have, and I am going to be using my 2 mil crochet hook. These hooks are linked in the description below in my kit, so if you want to go and see all of the crafting stuff that I use, you can go to my kit and purchase things from there. I do get a little bit of a kickback if you buy anything from there, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. So if you would like to support me in any way, that would be a fantastic way to do it. So we're just going to do a magic ring, and we're just going to do 8 single crochet into this ring, being as tight and as conscious as possible whilst doing it. it's a little bit fiddly. The smaller the needle, the smaller the hook, sorry, the more difficult it gets. Eight. And then we're going to pull the ring closed. As tight as you can. And then if you can see it, I'm going to join in the round with a slip stitch. Make sure you get in the right end. And then we're going to pull enough that we can sew the eye on. And there you have one little eye. So if you have got thinner yarn, maybe embroidery yarn, you could use that if you wanted the eyes to be smaller. But that is one, and then we're just going to repeat that a second time. Okay, so now I have my two eyes. I've got to try and get them roughly the same size, and now I'm just going to sew these on in position using the thread that I've left over. So where did my yarn needle go? Hiding there. Okay, so that is the back, so we want them on the front, so I'm just going to place the first one and then we'll be able to place the second one. So that is the center line. And what I try and do is I'm trying to come up through the center of the eye, wrap it around the outside, and then find a space to come back in on the edge. So it's not going to be too obvious where those stitches are. You're just going to have to wiggle it around a little bit and just do that a few different points so that the eye is secure. So I'll probably do one more. Just coming in down here. And then what I'm going to do is thread this one through. Okay, so we have the two eyes done, and now we need to do the nose. So the nose, I'm using the pink cotton. I am, as I've said before, not a huge fan of this yarn just because it splits so easily and it makes it difficult to work with, but it's what I have. So it's what I'll use. So the nose is fairly simple. So thread some yarn, and then we are going to come up here. Just kind of working out how big you want it. And we go round a couple of times there. And then you're going to go up. Oh, sorry guys. And you don't want to pull this too tight because you don't want it to pull the nose down. And again through the same hole. And back through the same space. So you can, if you are an embroider, you can make it more of a triangle and do what you do. I am not an embroider. I think that is enough to make it obvious that that's its nose, and I used way too much yarn for that. Then just cut it, and again we're just going to knot it at the back, and then I'm going to do the ears, so come back for that. Okay, I'm having a nightmare today, guys. I don't know what is up with me, but we are going to do the ears. I've just lost some footage. I just redid the ear and forgot to press record, so it's I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get this out for Sunday night now, but we move. Okay, so to do the ears for the so that's the first one, that's the second one, and you're going to do a single crochet into that second chain. So there's your first single crochet. Then you're going to do 3 more single crochets. And then you're going to do half double crochet. Now, if you have seen my videos, you will know that I've got a video on half double crochet, but for those that don't know, yarn over, through, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. I'm going to do 3 of those, so that's 1, this is 2, and then this is 3. Then again, I've got another video on double crochet, which is what we're going to do next, which is yarn over, through, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and you do 1 more of those. And then in this final stitch, you should have 1 left. You're going to do 5 double crochet into that final chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You may find that your hole gets a little bigger and looser. You can tighten it at that point by pulling on your ends. You just give those a tug. It should tighten that gap. There we go. Okay, so then I try and weave the ends in as I go, so I kind of hold them tight to this line as I'm going, and we're going to do exactly the same as we did on this side, going back the other way. So we're doing another double crochet into that first one, and then another double crochet into the next stitch. If you can't weave your ends in as you go, don't worry, you can do it as when you come back at the end. Then we're going to do half double crochet for the next 3. Yarn over, through, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, 1 more, caught a little bit of thread from something else there. There we go. And then you're going to just single crochet to the end. So back to through, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, through, pull up a loop, yarn over, through, through, pull up a loop, yarn over, through. Then I just do a slip stitch into the end here. Then chain 1, pull it through, cut it off, and there you have an ear. And you're just going to do 2 of those, and that makes your bunny ears, and then you're going to sew them on. I'm not gonna lie, guys, this is testing my patience. Just can't get my head in gear with my recording. But here is our little bunny basket. I haven't fed through the bottom loop yet, but he's got his little ears here, which I've just sewn on, his little face, and then you can use it to put little Easter gifts in. So you could probably fit 2 eggs in there if you wanted to do the caramel eggs. You could fit some mini eggs in there. But that is our bunny basket. This was my original, the first one that I did my test. His ears are a little floppy. I think it's the type of yarn that I've used, and I think I used a 4.5 hook for that. So I would say do the 4 hook with double knit yarn, and it comes up just a little bit stiffer, and the ears stay up better. So now we are going to move on to our little egg hiding chick, and that's going to be our final make, which is another one that you can do in under an hour. So let me turn you down again and we will get this one done. Okay, for this one, guys, I am using this yellow cotton, and again I am using my 4mm hook. We are going to start with a slip knot, and we're going to start with a chain of 11. Okay, so that is our 11. Then we are going to start 1 in the second chain from the hook, and we're just going to do single crochet down the line. And then once you get to the bottom, you're just going to turn it round and go down the other side, so back into that same stitch and do a single crochet, and then into the next, going down the other side. And again, like the bunny, I am weaving in this end as I go. But again, you don't have to do that. You can wait until you've finished the project and weave in the end then. Again, my recommendation for cotton yarn is Lion brand cotton yarn. It is so nice to work with. As you know, I'm not a fan of this one because it breaks. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is I am going to slip stitch to the first stitch. Ooh. Chain 1, and then we're going to go back the way we came, and we're just going to single crochet in every stitch all the way around. So we're not going to stop at the end, we're going to go all the way around like we just did until we get back to this first stitch here. And this is us back to the start again. So you can use double knit for this, but obviously it's going to work up slightly bigger. So into that first stitch, and we're going to slip stitch, chain 1, and we're going to turn the work. And go back in the other direction, and we're going to do this 6 times. So I'm going to do that off camera, and I will come back to you when we have got the 6 rows. Okay guys, so I finished the 8th row, and an egg will fit in just right into there. So now we need to make the headpiece. So to do that, what we're going to do is I've joined this last one in the round. Then we're going to turn, and we're not going to raise to the height of the row, because we're actually going to slip stitch back 5 stitches. So, and I'm just going to go on the inner what is actually the back loop, but it's kind of the front loop as we're looking at it. 3, 4, 5, then chain 1 and turn. And what we're going to do now is we are going to work around to the other side. Drop that. Sorry. Let's go back, because that last one's pulling up. We're going to go under both on that last one, just so that it sits flush, so we haven't got that big pull, because we don't want that. Going to go under that back loop and into the top loop of that. You see, these are the slip stitches, so you've got the chevrons are on the inside, the V's are on the inside. So we're going through what was the back loop of the one that we slip stitched into, and then the top loop of that slip stitch to make that stitch. This is just to neaten it up, just keep it neat. So top stitch and front, like that. It's only going to be difficult for those first ones that we've slip stitched, so don't panic too much, but I just think it's going to be neater to do it like that, because you can't really go into the slip stitch because it's facing the wrong way. Oh, I can hear Twinkle going. Means it must be near lunchtime. I'm not actually sure I'm going to get this out on Sunday, because I have got to go to my sister's to feed her cats. Make sure you get 2 sides of that last one. And then we're back onto normal stitches. So we're going to do 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there we go. It just makes that a little bit neater, I think. So we've got the 5 there, and that's going to form the head of our chick. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise 1, we're going to turn our work, and we're going to work back round in all of those stitches. And just get that last one there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to join this to the other side with a slip stitch. Chain one, and we're going to work back around this outside. Then into that last one there. And then we are going to chain one and go back round again. So this is our last round. And I will meet you at the end of this round. So now we are just going to reduce this down by doing that invisible reduction that we did with the egg. So it's all practicing the same skills. We're going to go and just every single one we're going to just reduce down by one. So into those first two stitches, reduce by one, into the next two stitches, reduce by one, and we're just going to work all the way around doing that. So remember, these reduction ones go into the front loops only to do that invisible reduction. And there we are at the end. So I'm just going to find, she says she's just going to find that piece there. And slip stitch in there, chain it to pull it round, pull it up, and then we are going to cut enough that we can then sew it fully closed. So we have got very little hole there, which is easy to close up, and this is what our chick is looking like. So grab your needle, thread it through, and then what you're just going to do is you're just going to pick up these outside edges of all of the stitches, going around like blanket stitch, I suppose. Just pick up every single stitch on your way round. And then you're just going to pull it, and then that closes that up, which is fab. So then I'm just going to weave that through there, take it down here to weave in that end. Oh, nearly pulled it out. Just make some weaves back and forth. And then cut off the excess. There So before we stuff the head, we are going to want to put a little bit of a face on our chick. So I have used, again, thread for this, not the plastic stuff. So this chick's a little bit smaller than that one. I think that's the first one I did, it was bigger. He's more this size, yeah. So before we put the stuffing in the head, we just want to do the face. So for that, I again used, oh, excuse my arm, the black double knit yarn for the eyes, and I used the cotton red for the nose. It would have been better if it was orange, but I think you can't tell sometimes on screen. It doesn't look as red as it is, so I'm using what I've got, but you can go and get the correct colours if you want them. So with this, you're not going to need a lot for the eyes, so I'm just going to cut off some of that. Then thread your needle, and I just used French knots for the eyes on this one. So we're going to go up into the hole there, find around about where we're going to want the eyes, leave an end there that you can hold on to, and then what you do for the French knot is you're going to lay the needle at a 90-degree angle across your work there, going outwards, and then you're going to take the yarn and wrap it over once, twice, make sure you hold on to that end, and then you're going to twist back round and poke that needle back in and pull it out. Now you can't pull it through the exact same hole, or else you're not going to get, it's just going to pull it back through. So that is one, and then I'm going to try and make the same on the other side. So about here, holding the needle 1, 2, and then you don't go back through the same hole, you just kind of go off slightly, and pull, and there's his eyes. Cute. We've got 2 little eyes, and then we've got a gap to do the nose. Now what I would do is actually turn this inside out so I can get to this bit, and then I can just knot this black so that the eyes stay where they are. I don't tighten really tight there, just enough to keep it together, and then the second one a tight knot, and then you can cut that yarn off, poking back through, and you've got your 2 cheeky eyes. And then we are going to use the red cotton for the nose. Again, you don't need much. Let's cut some off. Needle. I have a kitty in the room. It's obviously getting close to feeding time. You can tell. So we're going to come up here. Just hold on. Oh dear, I looked at her. Hold that end so it doesn't come out. Go across to the next hole and just do that again through the same 2 holes. And then you're going to go to the bottom, just trying to get it in the middle there, and then down in the middle at the top. just to give a beak kind of look. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, I think I said at the beginning, you can use a piece of felt. So if you can get some orange felt, you can cut a little diamond shape, fold it in half, and then stitch that on in the center if you wanted to. Then I'm going to take the ends again. Again, you might need to poke that out just so you can see. Don't over tighten that first knot, so you don't want to distort the face. And then the second knot, you can pull that one tighter. And then trim off the ends. And there we have the little chicky face. And then you want to grab a bit of your toy stuffing and stuff the head. Okay, to give him that 3D look. Probably got a little bit much in there. It's amazing how much stuffing you can actually get in. There we go. And then the egg fits in the heel like so. How cute is he? So if you are going to do these, I would say these are more of an adult thing, just because we haven't got the stuffing secured in there in any way. So you just got to be careful about giving that to children. You know, older teenagers would be fine, but just keep out of the way of infants. But yeah, you can do that, and then you can take some ribbon if you got ribbon. I haven't got ribbon, but I could take a little bit of yarn here, and you could tie him a little bow here. Just to add a little summon. So that is just too cute, isn't it? It's just too cute. Okay, so that is your 3 things, guys. It got cold, I had to put my hoodie back on. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that has like taken me forever to get to the end of this video, but I promise you that you can make all of these. Look, the big egg does only just fits in. That's so cute. You can make all of these in under an hour if your yarn is playing ball and if you're not recording it for any purpose. Excuse the cat. So this is your little chick that you can put your egg in. You've got eggs that you can just use for decoration, and you've got a little gift basket bunny here that you can put eggs in. Not this size egg, but this size egg goes in well, as well, to give out to people. So those are your Easter makes. I hope you enjoyed them. If you did, please leave a like on this video. Consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you get notified when I next upload. And I hope to see you in another video very soon. Bye for now.